Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, again, Kim and I have the absolute joy of discussing a well-written show that is also well-acted, and that is from on EPIX with season 1, episode 8. This episode was so good, I had to look at the IMDb page to make sure this wasn't the season finale. This was season finale worthy. Absolutely. I felt. Just in time. What's up, Hurt Minded? Sorry, we're a little late. We were discussing some silliness. But Kim, well, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was good. I mean, it showed what we wanted to see was how Boyd and his family got there, and also what happened. And it was very sad what happened, but I could see it happening. Like, your mind can snap. You don't know what's happening, and unfortunately her mind was not strong enough to deal with what was going on around her. It was very sad, though. It was really sad. I understand why Ellis was upset, but now we know that it was his father had to do what he had to do. He had to save Ellis. He had to save the other people, because she was just going off, like just shooting people, like pop, pop, pop. You guys need to wake up. You're in a dream. I was like, oh my God. Like what do you do in that situation? Reality was gone. She was gone.
So Abby, as we get the backstory of Abby and why did the white dude, I don't know his name, why the guy said to Ellis last episode, like mother, like son, like when he started to get violent, he was like, you're just like your mother. And then it was interesting
now we know why, right?
And it's interesting that it was Donna of all people who stood up for Ellis and Abby to an extent and punched this dude out when Abby was about to kill him or kill her. Excuse me. I mean, so again, this show just brings stuff together. Just when you're like, can it be done? Like, can you go backwards and forward at the same time and it makes sense? And the answer is yes. Yeah. Like, you can do it. I just said, so Boyd was put in an impossible situation. It was his wife or his son, and it was the son. Like, once she pointed the gun, at Ellis,
maybe, yeah, she had to shoot her.
He was like, done. Like, Abby and Sarah are a parallel is wild. Yeah. So so I thought, I cried, no cap. Yeah, man, this was the episode. It got me. But my problem, and we talked about this when we talked about the preacher, his story arc, and how Walking Dead does things, right? Boyd did so much closing. He did so much understanding. He got with Kenny, he got with Donna, he got with his son, and I'm like, he's dead as fuck. Like, I'm so scared that he's not gonna make it past this season because he's wrapping everything up, really. I mean, he's pretty much handed the duties of sheriff over to Kenny to an extent. He made peace with Ellis, to a great extent. And I'm like, please don't let this be the moment where like he just sacrifices himself for the greater good or some shit. Like, it's too soon to kill off the Rick Grimes. It's too soon. Like, you gotta work them out, unless this thing is only gonna last like 2, maybe 3 seasons, and then so be it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm invested. Like, I'm invested in him, and I want to see where it's going. Ellis's anger at his dad is warranted. If you think about the fact both of them are veterans. And being a Marine and in the Army, he was supposed to be in the Army. This is 30 years. They said he's a 30-year vet. So that means he and his wife fought through all of fucking Afghanistan, Iraq, maybe some other places. So both of them should understood what PTSD is.
Right. Wow.
And so it's not just, we don't know where we're at and are we dead? It's, I've seen death. I've seen violence. And like, he should have saw that. Like, for Ellis to be like, you need to talk to mom. And he's like, fuck it, I got to go save this town. I'm like, I need something. I need something to be like we went through therapy. I'm trying to be in denial or something, but like, how did you not know that she was on the edge like this? Right. I mean, it just couldn't be the first time.
But that, remember going back to Frank, right? That's why he was so pissed off at Frank. Because you have to, remember he kept saying, you got to watch your family. Like your whole job is to protect your family. And I think that was his own guilt about when Ellis was begging him to go see about mom because she's going through something. And Boyd was like, no, she'll be fine. You know, I got to help everybody else. That's where I think that he was coming from. You know what I mean? Like he didn't do that for his family. So he was so upset with Frank that, you know, because he didn't want what happened to him. What happened to Frank's family was in his eyes equivalent to what happened to his own family.
That as a father, he failed, and therefore his family paid the price for it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you can see that. So even when all you heard Ellis's was, you're responsible for mom's death.
Right.
The saving of the town, like when the pastor's like, she had to die so we could live, right? Like, or her sacrifice means nothing, right? The place plays off people's weaknesses.
I think it does.
I think it hits them all the same way. Like all of them have that trapped mentality. This is how they deal with it, like how they respond, right? So they do their best to try to give us how long they've been there. Because like first night, pastor was like, again, you got a couple of hours. I know this is gonna sound weird, but you're about to die if you don't come with me right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like the very next, so let's talk about, I think, what we learned about the creatures in this thing. We asked the question, especially in the comments, how did they survive before the Talismans? How did they even do that, right? They lived underground because these things have limitations. Like they only see you when they see you. They only know you're there when they know you're there. So if you're quiet enough, they'll just walk. Like they haven't figured out that people go underground. So it was possible to survive, you know? Especially when you ask the question, how did Victor go so long? How the fuck is he still alive? You know,
because he went underground and hid.
Because he came out with the lunchbox inside that the basement thing he went under, right? Like so I think that's important. Also, when Boyd finds the talismans, I think so. Let's talk about the boy in white, right? I do believe the boy in white is trying to help them to a certain extent. I think the boy.
Well, I had said that before, but then we were like, no, he's not. Like,
well, no. So I'm what makes me so maybe come to a realization, right?
Uh-huh.
The way that he was in the woods when Victor saw him and said, we need to go this direction, right? So just for example, right? Everybody else is going right, we going left, right?
Yeah.
The dog. I think the boy in white used the dog to get Boyd to the talismans because he knows.
Yeah, because he was following. Boyd was following the dog.
And the dog and the boy in white understands that most people can't see him. Victor can see him. He was a child.
Right.
Because like Ethan can see him because he is a child. But when he came to Boyd, he was like, I need something, right? So he used the dog to get him out there. And then he goes into the cave, into the tree, and he finds the talismans. And I think that's him like, you need these to do whatever.
To protect you. To protect you.
Potentially, right? To like this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because at first I always thought that they were that when the Sarah was hearing the voices to kill the little boy. Remember I said last week, I thought it was to kill the boy in white, but it's not. That does make sense that he is helping him now that I see this part. If we go there, like it could be something, right? Mm-hmm. So even Boyd's first experiences with the talismans, know that the tree didn't have a door. That thing was completely open. Mm-hmm. That monster walked up and just walked the back the fuck away. It was like the talisman. You don't need a door. Like as long as you got something up, like it's like they don't even fight it. They just move on to the next thing. Away. Yeah.
So I'm like, there's something. No, I didn't notice that but thanks for bringing the punishment trailer. Is actually Boyd's trailer. The kill box is actually the trailer.
It is.
That's awesome. So that he has to rebuild it. Because that was their first time using it.
He rebuilt it, remember?
Huh?
He rebuilt it after Frank.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but now it's like, but it's even more personal. Like now that you think about right, and it's like it goes back to that.
And I think the weakness when he's saying he's talking about the weakness, the people. I think the plays off people's weakness. I think because Abby probably does have PTSD or had PTSD, right? And her mind is weaker, right? Because she has a mental issue. Sarah has always had mental issues, according to Nathan, her brother.
Yeah.
So those are the two that are hearing the voices, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. It's a weak. They're playing on the weakness.
They're susceptible. So they're susceptible to certain things, right?
Right.
They're both women. Right. I mean, so that's something. So to be like, and so maybe, but again, so that the voices kill, like both voices are telling the women to kill something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe the voice was like, kill the boy, and she took it as Abby took it as, I got to kill all these people. Like maybe it's the same message, but they took it differently, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they're doing. When father said the sound is deadline was sound is deadline. His deadline was hilarious. That sound is death line. I don't get it.
Oh, okay. He said when the father Qatari said that sound is death. The line he said, basically he's saying that line, the line that the sound that you hear is death.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I get you. Because once you hear it, like you're fucked, because they're coming to get you.
Right.
I find it interesting that they said that they stopped screaming like after they found the talismans. I think there's something to that. Yeah, there's something to like oh shit, like now they know about the talismans, right? We don't know who created them or whatever, but like maybe now they got more tools, right? It was interesting again how Boyd immediately became the leader. Like that, like in less than a day, he's like, all right.
It was a couple of hours. Yeah, he immediately, the preacher was like, you're the guy. You're the guy. I was like, wow, when they were in the diner and he was talking to him, and I was like, wow, how did he just put all the eggs in the basket with this guy, right? But I guess it was just something about the way Boyd carried himself. But Abby wasn't on board with that. Abby, you could tell her face, she was kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know about this. Yeah.
So, and it was, but like, again, they didn't do a good enough job to show how time was expanding, right? Because to me, it looked like the next day he found the goat. He said, let's build a barn. The next day, it's like, what? Like he's already establishing the sheriff's office. Like he already got a sidearm because like was the weapon that Abby pulled out. I'm like, damn, like he did all this in a couple of days, or this has been weeks.
But but also too, I think when he was talking about when he was in the army, and remember they were in the car and they were basically talking about what he did in the army, which he got on bases and he would figure out and
he was an engineer or something. Like he put the stuff together, right?
Yes.
So I mean he said, I mean he's a man with a plan. Like it's just like it took dialogue for them to be like for Ellis to be like, Dad, it's been weeks that you've been going on these journeys and you need to look at Mom.
Yeah.
So like they tried because they only got so much time going on. They tried to show like over time things were getting to Abby over time, but like dad just wasn't seeing it because he was too busy trying to lead the town, right? Like he put the town over his family. That's why Ellis
was upset. Yeah.
And it's like, and that my husband thinks maybe the talismans are Mayan related. It could be. Yeah. Again, we don't know the origin of the creatures or how, again, are they stuck there? Is this some kind of Indian burial ground or some stuff? And again, they're stuck there, right? So they're like, if we get rid of the boy, maybe we can leave. And then the people come in. The tree thing only works when people are driving in the forest. Like when there's a road and they cannot go around, like if in El Paso, like where I'm from, it's flat. A tree ain't stopping shit. I'm just gonna drive around that thing and keep on going because I can see what's in front of me. So this thing, the way they get to the town only works when there's specific type of rural locations with tall ass trees and shit.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, stay in flat ground and you will be all right. Like you won't end up in this place. I was just like, no one thinks about getting out their car, just walking over the tree and just keep on walking. Like fuck it, I guess we walking the rest of the way. Also
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we got past and we got forward. So let's stick with Boyd, right? So Boyd, as we talked about, he takes over the pastor's mantle. He goes and talks to Sarah. He takes, okay, Sarah, like pastor told me, I got to do this. He's trusting in the word of the man. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna put you in the cabin and then we're gonna move off. But I gotta go back to the town and get everything straight before I keep it moving.
Right.
When Sarah, him trying to handcuff Sarah, he's like, there's nothing for me to handcuff you to. He could handcuffed her to herself. If he would have handcuffed her arm to her leg, like her ankle, she ain't going nowhere.
Sure.
For one. So what do you think about him and Kenny? The like first, why are you leaving? And now you gotta go.
Well, him and Kenny loves Boyd at this point, and he looks up to him. And Kenny was a little scared with the way Boyd was talking. Like Boyd is basically setting up for his demise, and that bothers Kenny because Kenny is like, I'm not ready for this responsibility. I don't want to have to do this by myself. I want you to be here with me. Because even when he was talking about, I think he wanted to go out there to say a couple of words about the people who passed or whatever. Kenny was like, well, why can't you do it? I'm not good at this. And that's why Boyd had to really just be stern with him and be like, one day I'm not going to be here. So you're going to have to do it. You have to lead the people. But I think Kenny's just really uncomfortable with it because he doesn't want Boyd to go anywhere. You know, I think that Kenny could do it. It's not that he can't lead, but it's he just doesn't want him to die. He loves the guy, you know. So I thought that scene was very heartfelt. Like it was really sweet.
All of it was like when he came back and Boyd is like, you know what? I'm not going, right? Like there's too many things going on here. We got to keep the town. And Kenny was like, no, you got to go, right? Because we're not safe. He's like, you go. And Donna was like, what the fuck? And like, he's like, Donna, get your shit together. Because people need you to be a leader. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh. Yeah. He's like, I'm being what you asked me to be, Daddy. I'm asking you to be strong. I'm going to be strong for you. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, he just gave him a hug. I was like, what? He's like, I got to go, bro. You got to go do things. I was like, this is beautiful. I felt like I was watching This Is Us meets The Walking Dead. Like, it needs to be Randall right now with the tearing for no reason. Like he's always crying. Shit, like stop crying. Shit. He's emotional. But he brings it. Like it's all. When Boyd, after he talks to his son, he takes Sarah out into the woods, right? And they're playing that song in the background. All I could see was This Is Us. I was like, this is Jack and like Rebecca or some shit just walking off into the, like, I was like, this is us when they play that song of the episode for like the life lesson moment. I was like, I was like, I get you, bro. I was like, no, don't go, Daddy. Don't go, Daddy. I was like, we got so much stuff to talk about. Do
you think Boyd is coming back or you think Sarah is gonna, I think Sarah's gonna die. I don't think Boyd is gonna die.
Yeah, Sarah ain't gonna make it. Sarah ain't gonna make it, but Boyd's gonna be all right. He'll at least make it to season 2. Let's say that. Again, we don't know the long-term plan for this show. Like, is it 5 seasons and 3 seasons? You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna go to, he'll at least make it to season 2. I think it'd be stupid. Christy needs to stop playing. Yeah. You're right. Christy is gay.
But she kissed him on the cheek.
Christy's that's not okay. That's not okay.
This is the thing. I think that at a certain point, Christy realized she may not get back to her girlfriend. So, and then the thing is too, they didn't say that she was strictly gay. She could be bi, she could be feeling him.
All right. We need, but if she's not, be real. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because
she gave him the flirty look. It wasn't like, mwah, thank you. It wasn't that. It was like,
there's something there. There could be something there. There could be something there, right? So like, you're right. He gave that energy. He's like, I got this. I got my girl. I got the book for some reason. My daddy gone. I'm gonna be strong for my daddy. He gave the speech and everything. So then we got Jim, right? So Jim, Jade is not the dude. Like he's an asshole. Like he continues to be an asshole. But he's consistent. I gotta respect that as a character. He's consistent, right? But I like how, again, it was Jim that Kenny was like, Jim has an idea. of how we can be better.
Mm-hmm.
And once he explains the project, right, he's treating the town the way Tabitha is treating Ethan, right? Like, you got to get their mind off the situation.
Right.
Focus on something we can do together. Let's put this tower up, right? So let's not think about the 14 dead people, like, and that we're stuck here. Like, let's build something, and then like we can get our mind off the situation and we can get it going, you know? And only Jim could have did that. You know, definitely not Jade. Even though Jade understands what's going on, like, he's an asshole. But
he is, and he's just unstable, like very unstable. But I mean, I understand it. Like, he's kind of frantic, if you ask me. Like, he's always frantic, like, and I'm like, just calm down. Like, he would make my anxiety go through the roof. And I'd be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, keep him away from me, because he would just keep everybody hyped. And it's like, and worried.
He's an asshole, but he's the only one looking for Victor.
That's true.
No one else has asked about this poor dude. Like, I'm like, he's the key. He's been here longer than anybody else, but only Jade is like, hey, fuck you, Jim. Where's your daughter at? And Julie's like, I can't. Did you see their faces when she was like, I was in Victor's room? They're like, this bitch. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, they were like, wait a minute, what? And
well, y'all
like, not like that. And I was
like, I'm gay. I like freedom. I like, he should be like, oh, okay, never mind. One, you accuse this dude about to rape your brother. Let's just be real, right? So they're like, last time we checked, he's a molester. And like, what you doing in the room?
Right. Yeah.
But she's like, he saved me. And nobody's like, well, where the fuck is he? Like, is he all right? Like, does he still have his lunchbox? I mean, tell me something. You know, did he give you the lunchbox? So then the tree, so it all connects. So then she's like, he threw me in the tree and I ended up in the room. And Ethan's like, I know about the tree, and the tree does this.
Yeah.
That voice is okay because he's a kid.
Right.
When Yaz talks like that, she's 25, I'm upset. I'm like, Yaz, stop talking like that. You're a grown woman. Stop doing that shit. Like, it irritates the fuck out of me, man. Like, but I'm like, this kid, it makes sense. He's gonna be like, Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm gonna be like, thank you, Tiny Tim. Thank you, Tiny Tim. Anyway, they took him seriously, though. That's what I was worried about. I was worried they're going to be like, shut up, little boy. Like, what are you talking about? No,
they listen to Ethan. Because he's a very smart boy. So they listen to him. Yeah.
Right. So I liked how, once again, I guess because we found out how the son died. We found out how Thomas died.
Now, I tell you, I was like, I remember, like, you know, you just throw your child up to change their diaper, right? You would never think in a million years. Me, I hold feet. Like, when I'm, looking for holding feet so that they do roll. Like, they roll like that. And, a baby can just roll over and, bust their head. I couldn't imagine my baby falling on the ground and just dying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the guilt that her and Jim have to live with for the rest of their lives, I mean, it's their fault. Why would you put your baby on a high table to change him anyway? And if you do, why wouldn't you hold on to some part of him so that if he does roll, you're like, oh, I got you, Like, that was so sad when she finally said what happened. And then Julie was just all over the place. Like, she was just crying. And but when she asked her parents whether they're getting a divorce, I thought to myself, sweetheart, we don't even have a courthouse here. Like,
how the fuck we gonna get a divorce?
Exactly. We're not even worried about that right now.
Like, can we worry about staying alive? Also, she's 17 years old, right?
Right.
This bullshit of, was it me, mommy? Fuck you. You know it wasn't you. I mean, were you there when Thomas got killed? No, just shut the fuck up. Like, it wasn't you. Like, I'm like, Absolutely. Come on now.
Yeah.
If Ethan would have said that shit, I would have been like, Ethan don't know better, right? Like, I would have took that. But like, come on now, girl. You're doing too much.
Yes,
doing too much,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But then, they're making it way too emotional. Right. So I was like, I didn't.
And
but
too immature, because Ethan is more mature than her at moments.
Yeah.
And like, what? Your brother's like 5.
Yeah. So I'm like, I thought irritated. But again, backstory, right? We understand like how they got there, what they're going through, right? Like, as much as the story is pushing forward, they're also going backwards, right? They kind of get, and I thought that, and then again, so they're like, every time I see him, all I hear is the phone, right? Like I can't do it right now.
Mhm.
Father getting dog walking by the goat was subtle but fun. Yeah, that shit was funny.
Mhm.
That was funny. To be like, hey, why don't you get, but again, Boyd leading. He's like, hey, I found a goat. There's some chickens and shit. He's like, go get the farm together. So now you know where Colony House came from. It was Boyd. At some point, they were like, we can live in up above ground. At some point, Donna says, I don't want to live in town. I see a house up there. And you see, he's the one that put the structure into everything.
Yep. He's the leader.
Where's Victor? Where's Victor? Know. Like, there's no, right? I mean, you would think he's running around with the lunchbox and he's like, oh, talismans. I know that. Like something and like he never found them or whatever. I said that. Why weren't you holding on to him and you reached over for the diaper? And I don't even have kids. I was like, but again, this is all hindsight 2020 stuff, right? Like no person thinks about that until it happens. And you're like, oh my God. Like both of them were like, I thought it was you.
Yes.
And
they thought one parent thought the other parent had the child or was paying attention, and neither one of them were paying attention. That baby hit the daggone ground. Just devastating. It's like when people roll on their child. Like, I don't understand how you can have a baby, laying right next to you and you fall asleep and then you roll over. That concept has never been something that I never got that, because I'm like, you can feel a person.
Can't you? I mean, that's a big ass thing sitting laying next to you.
Yes.
You got to make effort. You got to make effort to get on that kid. Like, you got to be like, move your leg.
Yes, you absolutely do. And I broke the rules. I've had both my children sleep right here next to my, my breast, lay there. And I never, my body doesn't even allow me to go that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, because you just know they're there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? I was like, oh my God, I don't know how people do that. Devastating.
But again, but now you see what they're struggling through, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
And you got, so back to Abby for a minute. I really, again, the situation of my wife or my son, right? I thought she was going to shoot herself.
That's what I thought too.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then she's like, I got to wake up and then I'll come get you. And he's like, no. And then like, it's still his fault though, right? Because you should have saw it coming, right? But I thought she was going to shoot herself. And then like, Donna's going to be all right because you see her in the future, right? But like when the sun comes up, I'm like, and then it kind of reminded me of Inception. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, a long time ago though. Yeah.
But you remember, like, because the wife, Leo DiCaprio's wife.
Oh yeah. When she was gonna kill herself. Yeah.
She did. Because she thought she was still in the dream, and she's like, the only way to wake up is to hit the ground. So I'm gonna just jump off the fucking roof. And he's like, wait, no, I was like, so it kind of took me back to that. I thought they were gonna try to do that moment. But yeah, so this, I'm irritated that at this point they don't understand people are the vulnerability. It's not the house, it's not the talismans, it's the people, right? For them to say Colony House is vulnerable and I can't stay there, we got to move into town. That's not true, because you got to know by now that the only way these creatures get in is that someone opened the door.
Right. It had nothing to do with the home. It has to do with the people that are in the home and opening up doors and windows. And if you just like
Frank's daughter, this is not so. Like my thing is, like, especially Boyd being military or whatever, being the sheriff, right? Like there should have been some type of investigation, right? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
You go through the house, the only window and it wasn't even broken into, the only door that's open is in Kevin's room,
right?
Or the bathroom. But Kevin's dead ass body is right there.
Right.
So to put the two together, to be like, well, don't we nail the window shut? Yes. Kevin's dumb ass is right here. He got flowers right here. We know he was picking flowers in the other episode.
Right.
Mystery solved. Kevin got seduced. Kevin opened the thing. Fatima should be telling everyone that me and Ellis, who has the arm sling.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yep.
How the fuck are y'all still alive? we simply closed the door, put the talisman up, and said that.
Why did Fatima do this around the talisman? Like, she didn't need to do that.
Well, I think it's stress. I think it's stress. Like, she was trying to hold it up there. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, she was like, "Come on, like maybe this will keep it there." You know what I'm saying? But even then, like the house they were inside the house.
Yes.
We could have gotten to a closet, put the talisman on the doorknob, and wait till morning.
Would have been fine.
And you would have been all right.
But that was a learning thing, right? Because they learned at that moment. Her and Ellis learned, oh, we can do it this way too. This is a new way to keep them out, right?
And I'm like, that's something that needs to be talked about, right? Like people should be investigating. How are you still alive with 14 people dead? How are you not one of them, right?
Right.
Especially when Ellis is one of the survivors. Like, you would think Boyd would be like, "Hey, son, why are you here? Like, let's talk about this, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And again, Boyd's own experience. There was no door. There was nothing. The talisman alone just kept the creatures out. They just moved on to the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, but again, they're acting like the town itself is somehow less safe than it was before. But like, no, it's just the people. But how do we better protect the people from being seduced by the creatures and da 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 da? So I was like, they act like this just happened again. This is not the one of the many times that people ultimately be just like Frank, and again, and not being there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you think that they really turn into birds during the day? Do you think that they are the birds that are like? Remember when Ethan and his dad, when they first came to the town, the tree fell and the birds were up there? Because a lot of people that recap it think that the birds are the creatures during the day.
I see. I didn't know that was a theory. I was asking the question, where are the birds? Like, during the daytime, like at all? Actually, you don't see the birds at all. Actually, anymore. You only see them. The only time we saw them was when the new people came.
Right.
So that that doesn't
hold. Like, they're seeing the new people, like that's how they're showing themselves, and they're looking at the new people like, new people, you know.
Well, so I mean, but I would think if they are the birds, right, you would see them around town, so they can keep watch on where these people go. So tonight they can turn into the thing and kill them. You know what I'm saying? If that was them.
Mm-hmm. But I don't really pay attention to whether they're around. That's the thing.
They're huge. I mean, it's a murder. I think there's a huge bunch of those birds. You're not going to miss them. Like, they're not going to miss them, you know? Yeah, and they would land eventually, right? And they land on something, on something, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, where's the bird shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, just, anyway, I mean, I'm thinking, so I think people are trying to put things together. The birds, again, I think the birds are important. They're like the entry thing of how you get there. I don't remember birds when Boyd and family showed up. I remember I saw the tree. I don't remember the birds. I don't remember birds either. Mm-hmm. So, and they were still driving through town. I think Boyd tries to wear the talisman around his neck to see if it works outside.
That's what he went into the forest to do.
I think he should put that shit on Sarah's neck and then go sit into a building.
Absolutely. I would absolutely put it on her.
That farmhouse, you don't have to go travel. You tie her outside, like we talked about before. You put a talisman around her neck. He gets into that farmhouse, puts the talisman on the door, and just watches her. And be like, either way, this is going to work out. So, you know.
Either you're dead or you're not.
Or you're not, right? It's either it gets handled or we're going to handle it.
Right. Exactly.
like, ta-da. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Seeing Sarah alive, I thought that was going to be the next wedge between him and Ellis. I thought he was going to be like, why are you working with her? Da, da, da. I thought, because since they came together, right? And then she comes out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I thought that's what they were going to go with that, but he's like, I'll keep your secret that she's alive and you're helping out.
Yeah.
14 dead bodies. I thought that it was going to be the exact number of graves that Victor dug to show like he actually saw it coming, because he dug like 7.
He did 6. He did 6. Mm-hmm.
So I thought they were gonna be like, oh my God, like he, you know, like someone told him 6 is just right. And then like, and then she's like, put him in the thing. I thought they were gonna do that, but it was like a lot more than that. I didn't see that many people drop. So I was like, damn.
I didn't know it was 14. But
and I was like,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. I'm like, damn. I mean, I was like, how did they pull that off? We don't think there are crows. Obviously, they watched them as they knew the info about the priest. But then we would have known where they were hiding before they had the talismans, right? Yeah, again, they would have known that. if they were the birds, right? I mean, they would have been like, oh shit, they just hide underground. So again, it's plot convenience to a lot of extent. You know, like the creatures can do certain things when necessary, and they can't do certain things when necessary. I mean, just like any show. I mean, so we can get the stuff from point A to point B. So the whole, again, I don't like the whole digging. Kenny's mom still upsets me with the whole like I can speak English when I want to, when I don't want to, and I'm like,
she says a couple of words in English, and then the rest of it is Cantonese, but that's typical though. A lot of people who speak other languages, that's what they do. Like they just,
but they're like arguing with her, like I'm like, you don't know what she's saying, right? Like like she's just like mad, like don't come in here. But
Jade knows what she's saying. He's the only one. Jade and Kenny know, but nobody else.
And somehow Boyd act like he do, because he stood up and he was like, I got it. Like I'll take out. Maybe he just feeling the room, like he was just feeling the vibe of like, I got this. I know you're upset.
Right.
It's interesting again how Donna and the priest said when Jim and family showed up, once you pick your location, that's it. There is no like mixing of the households.
Yeah, and I didn't get that.
Because now all of a sudden, hey buddy, we got to move in with y'all. So everything's fine now. So clearly Julie could have went back home with her family if she changed her mind. But somehow somebody brought up the mayor. Like there's no political system here. Like you got Boyd the sheriff, but you don't have like a board of leaders. Like, you know, like it would have been Donna, Boyd, and maybe the priest to kind of be like this is how we govern. Type of thing.
I think they kind of do have that whole thing is they just have leadership, period. You know, Donna's a leader, Boyd is a leader, the priest was a leader, and Kenny's a leader. That's it. That's their government.
All right.
You know, that's and it probably stay that way, you know, until one of them, you know, you have to replace them because they die, right?
Right. So it's like that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Christy is the medical. That's what.
Yeah, that's her role.
She's the medical, right?
That's her role.
And the mom, Ty, she's the cook. The Chinese one. She cooks. That's what she does. She takes care, makes sure everybody eats, and then the bartender makes sure people get drunk off the potato vodka, to kind of because you don't want to think about what's happening to you. So if you get drunk,
So Fatima talking to, it's funny. I felt like Ellis just spent the whole episode just getting monologued. First the father was like, I gotta tell you something, and then I'm gonna tell you. And then Ellis was like, and then Fatima was like, I got something to tell you, and I'm just gonna tell you. He's like, what's up, man? It's like, I wasn't here, but I'm sure your dad don't know the pain of what happened. And I'm like, and then hearing her story of how her father was murdered, right? Makes me think like, well, did she feel like she was responsible for it? Like, we don't know why they came and killed their fathers, being a priest, in a local area. So I think maybe she was trying to use her own experience to be like, you don't know the pain of him having to kill your mom, right? Like, you got to see it from his point of view. And was that what put Ellis over the top to be like, yeah, like yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
I need to say I'm sorry. I know I'm mad at you, but like, you didn't have a choice, right? It was
it really wasn't his fault, but he was just angry because he was younger too. I mean, he was younger.
And we haven't reestablished ages and times. No. So yeah, because it's the same actor, right? So we don't know if that was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, 6 months. I mean, so it's hard to keep track of these people. Right. And how long they've been, because I didn't realize again, Victor, he's a grown-ass old man right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, that's a lot.
I would say Victor's the oldest person there.
Oh yeah. Well, no. The guy that got punched, he's old. I think he's older than Victor.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And then people can come their own age. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, but we don't know anything about him. Anyway, to your the bartender, I want to think, why is everybody in the hospital? Like, they're not hurt. They're scared, but they're not hurt. For her to be like, oh, we're going to be busy all night. No, the bar needs to be busy all night because people are trying to get drunk and forget what happened. Like, that makes sense.
I think maybe with some people that got hurt when they were running away, they got trampled and stuff. That's what it looked like to me. Like, those were people that were hurt. Like, there's people with bandage around their head, arm slings, stuff like that. I think that, yeah.
Arm slings. I just I guess I guess I'm looking for more of a reason why you're hurt, because once those creatures get to you, you're not walking away from that, right? So I mean, and then like they all got into the van, so it just seems kind of weird that all of a sudden like they didn't get shot, you know what I'm saying? So what hurt them that she has to take care of the entire fucking town? And the fact that they don't realize it's the people that made Colony House vulnerable. That means they're still vulnerable. Like, I mean, any one of them could get seduced, open the door, and then that whole house is destroyed.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't know. Like, you got to realize what the real problem is, or you can't fix it. Yeah,
and they need to pay attention to each other too, because nobody was paying attention to Kevin, and that's how he became lonely. If you and that's a natural thing, right? Yeah. So he wasn't a part of, you know how it seemed to be like little cliques in there, right?
Yeah, always human nature.
And Kevin wasn't a part of any of them, and so he got lonely. And this is what happens when you don't pay attention to everybody. You just pick individual people to pay attention to.
Buddy teams. That's what and that's a very military thing. Buddy teams. Everybody should be assigned to someone. No one goes anywhere by themselves. No one, can sleep by themselves. Like everybody has a buddy. So at least one of you can stop the other from opening the fucking window.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. They should go to buddy system. That is absolutely true. Yep.
Because fuck, man. I mean, that's what happened to all of them. I mean, they can get into that. Two more. It's so good. It's just moving so fast. I feel like this could be a mini series. Like they
didn't say that it was a mini series, so
I hope it is not. But I'm saying the way it's written, they could be like we're trying to knock this out in season. Probably not 2 episodes, but maybe like 2 seasons. And if they don't leave this town, this cannot go past maybe 3 seasons, because then it's just gonna get repetitive.
Right. I think it'll probably be like what is that show? Wayward Pines, where they didn't need a second season because it was really for the fans. Yeah. But this show actually does need a second season. Once it has a second season, be done. Like they don't need anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell this story in 10 more episodes and be fine.
Yeah. Depending on the episode that they're trying to tell. Right? Like Walking Dead, even between season 1 and season 2, they had to move. They had to leave Atlanta so they can get to a new story, right? So like I said, if they stay here in this town shit, then 2 seasons would be done. Or but if they can move to another part, like somehow they expand beyond like their boundaries now, then you got more room. You got to get more people. You got to come up with. I mean, you got to find the other village of people being controlled. And now you got the fighting cities, not to get to the Negan level, but like to be like you need other people. Were the monsters talking to the sheriff's wife? We think so. We think it's not necessarily the monsters, it's whoever's doing the talking. Like I don't think it's the monsters that's talking to Sarah, because again, that voice is trying to stop whatever's going on, like to them, right? Like kill. So I think there's something else happening that's like talking to them. Because if the monsters could do that in the daytime, then they would just tell everybody open the door and then everybody be dead. So it could be multiple things going on. I think they should make a carving of the talisman on their skin or paint on them. So there's no scientific study of what makes the talisman. Who made them in the first place?
Right.
What's their limitations? What's their capabilities? Like we don't know that. Trudy was lonely. Kenny and her could have been together. They just threw Kenny on us. So like Kevin, I think his name is Kevin. But anyway, I don't know this fucker. I mean, we don't know this dude. Like so, like they didn't do a good job of fleshing him out for us to care.
Yeah, because I never saw him before that episode. Yes. I was like, where did this dude come from? Yeah.
I was waiting for someone else to say his name so I could be like, oh, that dude. Like it wasn't like it was Jim or even Jade or and then Jade is having his own visions. Not everybody has visions. So I think he's the first man besides Victor who can see the boy in white. Jade is the only other person that can see things. And he saw the symbol, so we don't know if someone's speaking to him, maybe about the history of this place, because everything he sees seems to be in the past, right?
Right.
So maybe he's seeing how all this stuff got started to an extent, and maybe he's seeing the history. I mean, perhaps.
And it's not clear at all yet. So
or what the message is. Like, what are they trying to get across to this dude besides just tormenting him? I'm sure there's a message to all this. They're not just trying to make him go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the radio tower?
Go ahead.
Do you think the radio tower is going to work once they?
I think it is. That's what I was about to say. I think and Donna was, of course, like, yeah, go ahead and do it. Like, because she saw 14 people die. Yeah. So she's ready for anything that'll help them to figure out where they're at or to get them the heck out of there. Yeah, I would have been like that too. But when he said that he heard static, I was like, you can hear static. Then there's got to be some, waves or whatever, wavelengths or whatever.
Some out there. What I
mean? There's a signal out there somewhere.
I think this is where we get to the expansion of the world. Like they get to the other set of a town.
That makes sense. That's so like
season 2, right? Like they don't get to the civilized world, but behind those trees, right? And then now it's like, oh my God, like it's you guys. How did you guys get together?
Wasn't Wayward Pines like that?
No. It was one solid. Like they were legit like on their own actually. So like it was all man-made. They figured out that it was all man-made, and there was a watchtower. That's right.
I was thinking, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is The Walking Dead, like later in the seasons when they had the different towns and they all came together, that type of shit. So like that's the only thing they can do right now to keep them there, but expand the story and to get some more like main characters is probably that. So the radio might get them to help. So I think they're gonna pull the whole hello, is that like and then boom, right? The one good solid voice.
Yep.
And then they'll be like, oh shit, they're out there.
Season 10. I mean episode 10.
Episode 10, or Boyd, Sarah is murdered. Boyd is running for his life, and then he runs into Michonne. The black people, where the black women? They find a whole village of black women because ain't no black women there.
Because there's not one. There's not any.
Not a one.
Not one.
Not one. I'm like,
except for that one monster that was coming down the steps. She was black. I was like, okay, girl, because she had the 1960s hair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what I need. I need a Michonne type character to show up, braids, dark skin with a knife, and be like, I run a whole village of random ass black women. Like what?
Amazon women. How about black Amazon women?
Black Amazon women just running shit. I would be like, this is crazy. I was like, what is happening? I was like, that's what I need. Fatima's gonna find a new girlfriend. Maybe fucking Julie, she falls in love with a black woman. Let's just do whatever. Christy's like, you know what, Kenny? Sorry, I found my chocolate Nubian princess, and her girlfriend was black, so that all goes together. And then like we just do whatever. It just goes to whatever. Season 2. All right then. Anything else for this episode?
No, I just need more, and I need them to stop digging that damn hole in the house. It's not leading to anything. Just stop. Like can't you like mess up the balance of the house by doing this kind of stuff? Like make it cave in.
I see your point.
The foundation.
I see your point, but they're going straight down, not this way. Like if they were expanding to, like I think they would hit a beam or something. And again, so it's just to keep them busy. I feel maybe the hole leads to a chamber that maybe gives some more insight on the creatures, perhaps. Like they're not there, but maybe there's something down there, or it's just a whole big ass waste of time. Like it needs to be going somewhere. Because now I think the daughter, like Julie's gonna get involved with the hole and shit. So I'm like,
she was in the hole talking to her mom.
So like it needs to buy. I think she needs, if she starts digging, like I mean, if she starts digging, it needs to go somewhere. This is a big ass waste of time.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So all right, guys. So that's it. This is a great show. I've said before in comment, I will say that I think This Is Us. Before I watched the show, I said This Is Us was probably the best dramatic show on television. With the writing, with the character development. I think that for me as a black person, I think this show is better to me because that's not an issue. Like Boyd is just a man. He's a man trying to keep his family together, trying to keep his friends together, like, And I like that. Of all the shows we watch and we review, if you know me, I'm constantly complaining that I'm tired to be like we don't need another I'm black and you need to see me shit. Like Boyd is just a dude. And these people are just people, you know, and you can still have drama with that. You can still have a story with that you're like, what's going to happen to him and stuff. Because even This Is Us, Randall's story is stereotypical. He comes from drugs. He comes from poverty. The girl he adopted comes from drugs and poverty. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, can these black people got their shit together? Like, is that possible? Like, it's like, you know, so I'm like, I like that.
Well, Randall and his wife had their shit together. So.
Huh?
Randall and his wife, they had their shit
after
together.
He overcame poverty and drug dealing, and his wife grew up, sent 5 people to a house. I mean, it wasn't as bad, but it's still like, I mean, I'm like, God damn. Anyway, but I like, these are just people, and I'm happy just to see people. And yes, his wife is white, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna work that, whatever. But I was like, it was cool.
I didn't care. I mean, she could have been purple. I didn't care.
All right, I was like, whatever.
The story is just a good story, and it keeps me engaged. That's why I like it, because it keeps.
Yes.
And I tell you, I'm so pissed off that I haven't figured out. And I usually can figure out. You know how you watch a lot of TV, you can figure this out. You can figure out the killer or whatever.
Yeah.
You watch so much TV. I can't figure out anything on this show, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me wanting more and more. And
the plot holes become opportunities. It's just something else to explain, right? To be like, don't worry, we're gonna get to that in season 15. Like it's like, oh, all right. And it's just a beautiful show. And I'm happy to be able to review it. Thank you all you guys for joining us. It's been a long day, but it was a good day. Kim, thank you again. I will see you. Have a great week.
You too.
I will see you for Bel Air season finale.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, and I listened to the podcast, and they addressed Viv and the speech she gave to the on Vi and the light-skinned Viv, which I know we should probably not call her that, but that's what she is. But anyway, and they said that the reason why the speech was different than the one she's always given was because she was finally being honest. Like her other speech was just, you know, you say something to not really make other people feel bad about why, you know what I mean? Like, so she lied, she was lying, but that the speech that she gave to these 2 Black women was a heartfelt, real speech. And that's why before she started to talk, she said that I'm not even going to say that. Like she had something that she was going to say. She was like, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this. And she said her truth. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That does make sense. Like she was comfortable enough with these 2 women to speak her truth. But that's sad that she has to lie to Phil. Right. But you know what I'm saying? But I know why she's lying to Phil. I know why she's trying not to make him feel like bad or anything, like, you know, but she's lying to Phil. She's lying to herself too in that moment. But when she got in front of these 2 women, she felt comfortable enough to tell them the truth. All right. I should have listened to the whole podcast. I'm telling you, the podcast is good. If you listen to it together with the show, you get so much insight into it, and stuff starts making sense because they're talking to writers, they talk to the creator, they're talking to the stars of the show. Like they talked to Ashley on this one about why they're doing the LGBT, and it is a TA at the end. It is plus. They talked to her about it and how she feels about that character. You know, because she's only 12 years old. The real little girl, she's 12. They asked her how she felt about doing that. You know, and she was like, it was fine because it's a needed thing to show on TV. So she's fine with, you know, with portraying it. Never disagree. I don't disagree with the fact that she's gay. It's just how they're portraying it, right? The and I don't want it to be a continuous plot. Like I want Ashley to be the Ashley that we remember, right? She was silly and dancing and liking boys. And if you like girls, like girls, right? So I like, this is, if I remember, This Is Us, once the daughter revealed her sexual orientation or her gender, whatever, like it became, again, I like her or I like this person, right? It just became what it was, right? She wasn't giving grand social economic speeches about my people. And like, it was just, do I want to date her or not? Like that was the conversation. Right. No different. It was a boy, and that's what I'm saying. Like the level of like, that's what I want Ashley's story to be. I want it to plateau to where it's a normal thing. Like she should be thinking about dating
Yes.
at this age and stuff. But I don't want it to constantly be, oh, now I'm gonna go picket something.
Right. I'm like, that's
No.
coming.
We
The
don't
way the
need
show
that.
is written, she's gonna be out there. Well, it's just social media, so she's gonna have Ashley. Hillary's gonna help her set up a whole channel so she can protest for her people. And I'm gonna be like, stop. Like,
Yeah, we don't need all of that. We don't need and we don't need it to be political. What is it?
Politicized.
Yeah, we don't need that. We just need it to just
be
informative. Let it be light, and then that's it. And then, because even when they talked about why she hasn't told Viv about her sexuality, is because Ashley she hasn't really grasped her sexuality yet. She's 12. She has feelings.
Yeah, right.
But she's not sure yet. So why would she go to her mom, the most important woman in her life, and tell her, yes, this is how I'm feeling, when she doesn't really know? When she went to her sister, sisters are different. Sisters, you can say these things to, and then maybe next week you'd be like, you know what? I don't even know why I said that. I don't even feel that. I get, again, it's just like, This Is Us did it better. I mean, just in short, this is us. I'm sure they did.
I
really wish I could watch it. I can't.
It's emotional as fuck.
Too much.
Randall.
I love that guy. He's such a great actor.
Yes.
His wife is a great actor. Everybody on that show, period, are phenomenal. They do their job.
It's all about Jack. The show,
and Jack is phenomenal. Jack. That actor is phenomenal.
I know. I was like, but everything, it's somehow they're gonna tie that fucker back to Jack. I'm like, God damn.
Because it's his show. It's just like with Will. It's his show. The show This Is Us is about Jack. At the end of the day, that is what that story is about.
And that's how I'm like, and I was like, he's like the Will of this show, but like he's dead already. So they try to bring the old stuff they used to solve new problems. Like, I remember when Daddy helped me do this. That's helping me take care of this problem right now. And I'm like, I feel like he should get his own spinoff, even though I feel like he already had it. And then I think like Randall, kind of like grownish, like his daughters go to college. That's the show, but then you can get Randall in there to kind of flush that out. Like when they go home, like they could have kind of did that. The rest of them, I can be like, I give a fuck. But like, I think like Randall and crew, I mean, he can get his own show. I mean, I can just do something different. I mean, he's just a great actor, like you said.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys very much. You'll see us. Damn. So the Oval is gone. So basically, you'll see me on for the Ruthless. That's when I'll be back. And maybe between now and then we might find some movies to do. Oh shit. Moon Knight is starting this week. So we got Disney stuff coming. Moon Knight starts Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Disney Plus coming. We got The Boys. We got I'm not gonna. Morbius is probably gonna be shit, but we'll probably go see that. So we're gonna do that. So we'll expand. You'll see us around, and we'll see you in the comments. All right. So